Yo, RX, back again with another breakdown of UFC 284, Makachev versus Volkanovski. We finally here, and we made it through a late fight night to get to UFC 284. Underwhelming pay-per-view, but what can you do about main event is literally carrying so hard it's not even funny. But before we talk about 284 anymore, if you're new here, I do a quick recap of last week's card, only if it did happen exactly a week ago, so which means I'm going to do a quick recap of UFC Vegas 68, Lewis and Spivak. So are you ready? I know I am. Let's talk about it. 11 fights, of course. We lost Boehm the night of. Gonna talk about that. So, yeah. But again, 11 fights. Tara and Aguilar. Tatsuro Tara is just a problem. Jung Young Park and Talulian. Told you it was not gonna be a fight. Sung Park and Gook Choi. Neither are that good. Gook Choi was winning, but nice come back by Sung Park. Rinya Nakamura and Kazama. Rinya's a problem, man. 135 er, watch out. Rinya Nakamura, remember that name. He's fucking good. Ji Yang Lee versus Jia Yi. Yi got robbed. I don't see how Lee won that fight, really, and yeah, first robbery of the year. Anshul Jubli and Jekka Sargi. Jubli's good. He is very good. Nice at to 155, and let's see what he can do. I think he's a very interesting prospect. Still very young. I think he's only like in his 20s, 30s. He's very good. Main card, Fugit and Kinoshita. Well, I jinxed another fighter being confident in them, and props to Fugit, big upset, and congrats. Duo Choi and Kyle Nelson. Superboy looked rusty as fuck, and Kyle Nelson's just shitty, so they kind of countered each other and got a draw. I wouldn't have took a point, but at the same time, if the point didn't get taken, Choi would have won. Which honestly, I scored that fight for Nelson, but that fight's a whole can of worms, and hopefully Choi can knock off the rust in his next fight. Tybura and Ivanov, I predicted this fight so fucking perfectly. Boring, slow, shitty fight. Tybura wins. I told everyone this. I told you all. I'm wrong most of the time, Kinoshita, but I told you, slow, shitty fight, and could not have been more correct if I fucking tried. Clark and Da Eung Jung. I told you again, I had a weird feeling about Clark. I had a weird feeling he was gonna win, and he did. Jung looked awful, and Clark did just enough to win. In the main event, Sergey Spivak, Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis showed up for a paycheck, as simple as that. Good win for Spivak. Rise up to ranks, man. He's good. Do I think he beats any of the top guys? Gone, Aspinall, or full camp rematch. Jones, Blades, probably not. But yeah, he's good. And Lewis is done. If he ain't gonna even try anymore, he's fucking done. So, yeah, that was a recap of UFC Vegas 68. Okay card. I feel like I would have. I would be. At least for me, I would think it would. I would have enjoyed it more if it wasn't at fucking 10 p.m. EST. But overall, it was a fine card. Now we move on to UFC 284. So, you know, I don't like to waste time, so before I get into 13 fight card breakdown, just want to say, like always, like, comment, sub, and subscribe by the end of the year. And as always, if you want to break down some fights, I do too. 13 fights to break down in Perth, Australia. Too bad no Robert Whittaker, Cat Car France, or Tai Tuivasa. We got a couple Aussie, New Zealanders, whatever the fuck you want to say. Not great ones, but a couple. So. And we start off with a fight that he has zero. We start off with Zubara Warrior Turkov versus Elvis Brenner. Let's talk about Zabara Turkov. Zabara was meant to be fighting Joel Alvarez, but Joel pulled out, and now Elvis steps in. In the UFC, Zabara is 5-2-1. His wins, no, nothing special. Douglas Silva, DeAndrade, and that's literally fucking it. Ricardo Ramos is okay. His losses, Money Moicano and Hakeem Dawodu. Can't really get too mad at that. And his one draw is with Lerone Murphy. That's actually to go to draw with Lerone Murphy is not bad. So I don't remember the fight, so I couldn't tell you if he actually earned that draw. But yeah, not bad. The Bird's okay. He's a wrestler at heart. He can strike, but I never saw much of him. Like, I've seen it, like, of course I've seen him fight a good amount of times. I just don't think much of him. I think he's an okay fighter. He's 32 years old. Been in the UFC a while. Since 2014, you only have 8 fights. That's weird. Yeah. I don't think he's that great. Like, that's all I can say. I don't think much of Zabara Turkov. So he's just okay. Like, maybe ever gonna be a champion? No. Is he ever gonna be a top ranked guy? No. Top 15? Pushing your luck with that one. He's okay. He's an okay 45 right now. I don't know why. I keep getting mixed up with the dude who beat fucking Fiziev. Yeah, he's just an okay 45er. Like, he'll win when he should. He's been in there with a couple decent names like Lerone, Hakeem, Money, but besides that, no. He hasn't had that staple win, I guess, yet, so maybe this is it. I doubt it, because Elvis Brenner is literally here to lose, but what can you do? And to continue on that topic of Elvis, to now talk about Elvis, yeah, to talk about Elvis real quick. I've never seen him fight before. 13-3 record. Yeah, he's literally here to lose. Let's not lie to ourselves. He's just gonna lose. Yeah, he might be trained by Charles Oliveira. Doesn't make you Charles fucking Oliveira. Yeah, I'm not gonna say much. Zabara, I might not have spoken too highly of him, but he is -500, biggest favorite on the card, I believe. And yeah, he deserves it. This should be a layup for him. And yeah, I'm going Zabara Turkov to get the win here by decision probably. Should be an easy 90 office for Turkov, and yeah, not much to say. Zabara Turkov by decision. Not my lock of the night, you would think, since he is the biggest favorite, but no. My lock of the night on prelims, but it's not him. Next fight though. After that, we have a interesting one in the another featherweight fight. Yeah, decent featherweight fight. We have Blake El Animal Builder versus Shane Smokin' Young. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. One of the prelims, out of all the prelims, one of the ones at the top of my list of most intrigued. Just as weak, it was a very weak prelims, if you couldn't fucking tell. But yeah. talk about Blake Builder. Blake is coming off Contender Series, getting the huge upset win over Alex Morgan. When he was like a big underdog, I believe, plus 180. He looked impressive in that Morgan fight, completely ran through him. And again, huge, to get a Contender Series upset means a lot. Because Contender Series is a bunch of unknown dudes, so if you're getting upset there, you're doing something right. Yeah, for the one fight I've seen him, he looked good, man. He ran through Alex Morgan as an underdog, and now he's in the UFC. A couple months later, making his debut in enemy territory. He's not a terrible fighter from what I've heard and seen a little bit of clips. He's not terrible. He's just okay. Now he gets to show what he can do. He is 32 years old, which is kind of a red flag for debuting fighters, but he's only 8 fights in his career. He's not taken much damage, but yeah, still 32 years old, making your debut is questionable. So, talk about his opponent, Shane Young, who is older and a UFC veteran. Weird how that works. Shane back after a 2-year layoff. And he's been in the UFC since 2017. In the UFC, he is 2-3. His wins, won't even waste your time looking them up. His losses: Volk, we'll hear about that guy later. Ludovic Klein and Omar Morales. Yeah, dude has not won a fight since 2019. Lost 2 straight, taken time off. Now he's back. Yeah, in home territory, so he's probably, he likes that. I'm trying to think about what to say. I remember watching his last 2 fights. Ludovic Klein knocked his fucking teeth in. And I don't remember Omar having an impressive performance against him. I remember Omar just looking okay, doing what he had to do to win. I think that's the fight Shane had is the weirdest weigh-in face-off you'll ever see. Yeah, I don't know really what to say about Shane. I forgot he's even in the fucking UFC, let alone. Yeah, he's just here. Like, yeah, what I do remember from watching him fight, I don't remember him being that worthy of remembering or being that impressive, if that means anything. So he's just okay. I don't know what you really want to say about Shane Young. I'm not gonna hype up Shane fucking Young. This gonna be, and to go back to talking about the fight overall, it's gonna be an interesting one. Blake trying to make an impressive a debut, and not trying to have a good debut, and Shane trying to get back on track. So let's see what happens in this one. The betting odds say Shane Young minus 130, plus 110 Blake Builder. I don't see that. Out of these guys' last performance and where they are right now and all that, the Builder should be the favorite, coming off a huge upset win against Alex Morgan on Contender Series. And I think, and looking better as of late than Shane has in his 2 fights 2 years ago, might I add. I would have Builder as a favorite at about minus 140, 150. And I don't know why. I just don't think much of Shane here. I don't think he's gonna. I'm going for the underdog here. I think Blake will get the win here. I think Blake gets the win here, and I think he's gonna send Shane packing out to UFC. I'm trying to explain this fight in the best way I can, just not really coming to me. Yeah, not much to say. Blake's gonna win in my opinion. think the kid's gonna, well, not 32, he's fucking older, but I think he's gonna put on a good debut performance and get the upset. So I'm going Blake Builder by decision, probably. I think he does what he has to do to get the win. So Blake Builder by decision. I know that was an awful breakdown, but I'm trying to wrap my head around that fight. So yeah. After that, the first woman's fight in a minute, and the only on this card, we have Luma Lookboonmee versus Elise Reed. Let's talk about Luma. I think if you watch Luma fight, and she's had many UFC fights by now, if you watch her fight, you really know what you're getting with her. In 6 fights in UFC, she's 4-2. Her wins, not really her best win. Fucking Sam Hughes, Denise Gomes. Her 2 losses are Angela Hill and Lupita Godinez, which can't get mad at either of those, to be honest. Luma is really good. Great kicks, great striking, good knees. She's just really good everywhere. She's really good everywhere. She's coming off a dominating win in her last fight against Denise Gomes, or to end 2022, get back into her only fight last year. So she's not staying very active, but I think she's trying to, at least. Yeah, she's coming off a nice win. Describing Luma's hard because it's just he's really good in many places to where she can beat you on the feet. She's gonna kick you. She's gonna hit you. She could wrestle you. She's gonna clinch you. She's just really good. And if she can fight consistently, would I be shocked to see her as a bottom-ranked 15-11 strawweight? Not really. I think she's decent. I think she could easily be that. Do I think she'd go up much higher than that? No. But I think she could be that pretty soundly. And if she keeps fighting fights like this to get to there, if she keeps having fights like this, she's gonna get there easily. Luma's is really good. To talk about her opponent, Elise Reed, not gonna talk much on Elise Reed. She fucking sucks. In the UFC, she is 2-2. Her 2 wins, Corey McKenna and Melissa Martinez. Her 2 losses, Sijara Eubanks and Sam Hughes. I'll break it down. Her 2 wins are against 2 shitty prospects, and her 2 losses are to 2 shitty fighters who are somehow not as shitty as she is, if that makes sense. Yeah, Elise Reed sucks. Not gonna waste much time on it. She's not UFC level, and I don't know why she's in the UFC, to be honest. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Luma minus 275 to plus 230. Yeah, I think Luma should be minus 300, 350. It would be my peak. She should win this easily, however the fuck she wants. It's probably not gonna be a finish, but yeah, she should easily win a decision here, 30-27, without really breaking a sweat. So I'm going Luma Lookboonmee by decision. Very, very little worry about that prediction. So Luma by decision. After that, we have a good prospect against a fucking can. We have Jack Farr Jenkins versus Don Shameless Shanus. Let's talk about Jack Jenkins. Keep on saying John Jenkins or some shit. Jack also coming off Contender Series, having a great Contender Series performance, getting the contract, and now he's in the UFC. He looked very good on Contender Series. Looked very impressive. I don't remember his opponent giving him much of a fight, and he was minus 330 for a reason. Can't, you know me, I don't do tape study outside of what I see, and yeah, from what I've seen of Jack in one fight, he looked great, and he's definitely someone interesting to keep an eye on at featherweight. A lot of featherweight fights. Yeah, I think he's a really good add to featherweight, and I think someone to keep an eye on. Not much to say about Jack. He's just really good, and let's see how he does on the big stage at home. To talk about his opponent as little as possible, Don Shainis. He should not be in the UFC, not UFC level, and overall, this is another case which we've seen many times over the last couple years of only being in the UFC because we signed you to a contract on short notice. Overall, yeah, did he get a bad hand in his debut? Yeah, fighting Sadiq Yusuf, great. Can't really kind of a fuck you debut, but you decided to say yes to it and show up. You got beat, and now you get a step down competition, and you're still gonna get beat. So yeah, Don Shainis fucking blows. The betting odds have Jack Jenkins minus 330 to plus 260. I would move him up to minus 4. Yeah, Jack's gonna win, and he is my lock of the night. I don't see him losing this fight. This should be a walk in the park for Jack, and yeah, I'm going Jack Jenkins to get the win here. Knockout in the first. I don't see this being much of a challenge for Jack. Should get him out there really whenever the fuck he wants, and yeah, I'm going Jack Jenkins by knockout in the first. Not much more to say. Lock of the night. Already on to the 5th fight. You know me, I'm not trying to rush through these, just not a lot to talk about. And in this one, no, not much more to talk about. We have Jamie Malarkey versus Francisco Prado. This was meant to be Jamie Malarkey versus, I believe, Nasrat Peraz, but Nasrat pulled out. Francisco steps in. So if you have an update on that. And let's talk about Jamie Malarkey. I think a lot of people know Malarkey by now. 3-3 in the UFC. His wins: Karma Worthy, Devontae Smith, and Michael Johnson. His losses: Brad Riddell, Faraz Ziyam, and Jalen Turner. His wins: people he should be beating. His losses: Riddell has not aged well. Faraz Ziyam's a terrible loss, and Jalen Turner, you can't get mad at Jalen. We all know Jalen Turner is great. Malarkey's good. He's very tough. He takes a lot of damage. He can take a lot of damage as he takes a lot of damage. Very tough. Good striking. His strong suit is striking mainly. Yeah, he's just really good at taking damage and giving it back, and that's won him a lot of fights. The Michael Johnson fight, he took a lot of damage from MJ, and then when he finished Devontae and Karma, the real way you beat him is kind of what Jalen Turner did. You rush him, you try and hurt him as bad as possible, or you wrestle him and sub him. His ground game is not really amazing, so he's just okay. He's one of those okay fighters where they're never going to be ranked, but you don't really see him ever getting cut because they're just okay. Not much more to say about Jamie besides just okay. He's good. He's fine. Can't really say much about his opponent here, Francisco Prado. Never seen him before in my life. He does have that shiny 11-0 record, but let's be honest, looking at his last 5 fights, he's not really beating the highest level of competition. 0-0 record, 21-15. Yeah, he's not really beating high-end competition. So, 20 years old, making his debut. in enemy territory. Probably not gonna go good for him, and I'm gonna go Jamie Malarkey in this one. I think Jamie's gonna do what he does best: take damage, give damage, and yeah, I'm going Jamie Malarkey by probably decision. I'm not sure. Good chance decision. We'll see if. We'll see. Most likely decision though. Even though this guy's never been really late into a fight. So that's interesting to think about. Very interesting to think about. And we know Jamie is tough as nails, and yeah, I don't know. Jamie Malarkey by decision as of right now. Might change later, not sure. So yeah. So far as the red corner only party, does that change in this one? Next fight on the card, we got some flyweights, as we have Clayton K.R. Rodriguez versus Shannon the Turkish Delight Ross. Let's talk about Clayton Rodriguez. Clayton is 0-1 UFC after coming off Contender Series. In his debut, he gassed versus CJ Vergara in a very forgettable fight. He was looking good early, if I remember, but like I said, he just gassed, and CJ took advantage and got the win. Clayton is an okay fighter. From the 2 fights I've seen of him, he's okay. I really can't say much about him. I don't think much of Clayton. He's shown nothing to really make you think about how good he is or how bad he is. He's just okay. Losing at CJ Vergara is not really a terrible thing or a great thing. He's just okay, man. Like, this will be a fight that answers a lot of questions, because Shannon ain't great. To be honest, Shannon's not the best fighter in the world. To talk about Shannon, dude, I think it was the only fighter to get a contract off a loss this season on Contender Series. But after you saw the fight he did have, if I can recommend any DWCS fight from the 2022 season, it's his would be at the top of the list with a couple others, but him and Vince Salvador, for almost 2 rounds, just throw whatever the fuck they want at each other till one drops. And the more impressive, I forget what thing Shannon had in the fight, but whatever he had, it got him a contract, and now he's here. Let's see, okay, doesn't say what he had, but yeah, he's tough as nails, like all Aussies mainly are, and now he has his shot. This ain't an unwinnable fight for him. I've seen a couple people act like it is. It's really not. I think this is actually a very winnable fight for him, man. I'm interested to see what he does in this one, man. Will he capitalize on his golden opportunity? He might. Yeah, overall, Shannon is someone, this is a very interesting fight. The betting odds do have Rodriguez minus 275 plus 220. I would disagree. Would I have Rodriguez a favorite? I guess. I guess, like, it's not really. I could, if you made the case for it being near even, I wouldn't. Like, I'd probably have Rodriguez minus 130, a small favorite, but a favorite nonetheless. I don't know, this is a weird one betting odds wise. Fight wise, I don't know, I have a weird feeling, man. Just like Devin Clark, I have a weird feeling. I feel Shannon Ross could pull the upset. I feel like Shannon Ross could pull the upset out of his ass here. There you go. I would not be shocked if he does, and I have a weird feeling he might. Or if Rodriguez gasses again, man, that's a golden motherfucking opportunity for Shannon. And I don't know, I'm feeling like he might get it. So, you know what? I'm going Shannon Ross in this one. I'm going with the 220 dog, and I'm going Shannon Ross by second round TKO. I don't know, I have a weird feeling that he's gonna gas Rodriguez and get the win. I know it's weird. I don't get it either, but I can feel it, man. I could feel it. Do I want to say first or third? Yeah, I'm gonna go second. I like third second. Yeah, I'm going Shannon Ross by TKO, knockout, whatever in the second. I don't know why. I have a weird feeling. I think he can make Cledson gas and get the finish. Am I gonna look stupid for this pick after? Yeah, but do I care? No. So Shannon Ross by knockout in a second. After that, the co-main of the prelims, we have Joshua Kaiju or Kuja Kulibao versus Maleski the Gun Bagdasaryan. Let's talk about Josh Kulibao. Seen a good. As someone who's seen all of Kulibao's fight, you pretty much know what you're getting with Kulibao by now. An okay fighter. Win, lose, or draw, he's not going to look very impressive. And he's 2-1-1. UFC has 2 wins. Shailin Nurdenbekov, that's a shocker win. As those, why they fight more. And to be honest, Kulibao didn't even look that good in that fight. And then in his last fight, he barely beat Sung Woo Choi. Sung Woo Choi ain't that good. His loss is Jalen Turner. Can't get mad at that. And his draw is Charles Jourdain. I like Jourdain, but that's not a good loss, to be honest, or a good draw. He's just Kulibao's just an okay fighter. You're not really scared of anything he brings. He's just there, to be honest. I really don't see anything. He can't really remember anything he does that's that worrying. Yeah, he can strike a little bit. Yeah, his wrestling's there, but he's just okay. He's just an okay fighter. I don't know really what to say about Kulibao besides he's just alright. To talk about his opponent, Maleski Bagdasaryan, this kid's a good prospect. He 2-0 in the UFC, coming off Contender Series. In his 2 UFC fights, he KO'd Colin England, and then in his last fight 2 years ago, he's been off a good while, almost 2 years, about a year and a half. He had a very underwhelming performance from what I remember against Bruno Souza. From what I remember, he's a pretty good prospect. I remember he's had a lot of hype. I remember when he was fighting, he had a lot of hype on Twitter. All that people were really high on him. I get why. He's not terrible. He seems like an interesting prospect. He is I think he's only 29 or something. He's not old at all. Yeah, he's only 31. He's in the prime of his career. But yeah, the 2-year layoff ain't great. But and the 2 guys he beat are garbage. But Kulibao to step up the competition, and not that risky of a fight, especially if you're trying to knock ring rust off. Kulibao is definitely not that worrying of a fight. So yeah, overall, he's not bad. Good striker. If I remember, his wrestling's alright, and yeah, I think I'm happy to have him back. He's a very interesting prospect for, I believe, 45. Yeah, God, a very fucking fight on this card of fucking featherweight fight. Depending on for this fight are 110 apiece. I would really disagree. I'd have Bagdasaryan minus 150 to 60. I think if we're worrying about ring rust, especially after watching duo Choi last week, then I get it. But even then, I would still have him a small favorite. He's just a better fighter, I think, and unless I'm really not thinking about something Kulibao could bring, I think Bagdasaryan should win this. So I'm going Bagdasaryan by decision here. I think he's just a better fighter, and even if he has bad ring rust, I think he's just the better fighter. So I'm going Maleski Bagdasaryan by decision. And the featured prelim, we have the return of a Can versus a dude who's beating Cans at a consistent rate. We have Tyson Pedro versus Modestus the Baltic Gladiator Bukowskis. Fucking Christ. Yeah, Bukowskis is back, stepping in for someone else. Someone else who I'm really not sure who they are. So, yeah, let's talk about Tyson Pedro. Now, if you can't tell, I really could give a fuck about this fight. It's low-level light heavyweight at its finest. But yeah, we'll talk about Tyson Pedro. Tyson is 5-3 in UFC. His wins, Khalil Roundtree, Paul Craig, and his two most recent wins since he's returned, Ike Villanueva and Harry Hunsucker. So they reeled him in slowly, and now they're giving him I don't look at Madeus much higher than Ike or Hunsucker. And then Tyson's 3 losses are years ago, but just to name them, it's Shogun, which I think he tore his ACL or hurt himself badly in that fight, OSP, and Alil Latifi. Can't get really mad at any of those losses, especially when they happened in 2018, 2017. They were still decent at that time, and he was a young prospect. Pedro's okay, good kicks, decent power. He's not really had to show much in his 2 return fights, because like Ike Villanueva and Harry Hunsucker, they only could be so much of a threat. And Tyson, we know Tyson is good. He's obviously better than those 2 fucking Cans. So, like, overall, like, he's okay. If you honestly ask me, or let's be honest, anyone will tell you this, do you really see him doing much in the UFC? No. I see him being in a wild turn of events, he could maybe fall into the 14th, 15th ranking. But let's be honest, he's not that good. He's 31 years old. Yeah, he trains with a good team, but come on, he's not that great. Until maybe I'm wrong, maybe this new Pedro's a beast, but beating who he's beating so far in his return has not showed me shit. To talk about his opponent, is the returning Modestus Bukowskis. Why is he back? Happy birthday, by the way, to literally, as I'm recording this on Friday night, it's his birthday, so happy birthday. Now time to shit on you. Why are you back? You fucking suck. Modestus did go 1-3 in the UFC before getting cut. His one win was Andreas Mitrulaitis, and then his 3 losses, Jimmy Crute, Michael Olejniczak, and Khalil Roundtree. Why is he back? He fucking sucks. Like, I don't get it. Why is he back? Yeah, he went 2-0 in fucking Cage Warriors. Ooh. He beat a dude who was fucking 28, 16-1. What the fuck? Like, he sucks. Why is he back? Whatever. The bands for this fight have Tyson Pedro minus 250 to plus 200. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like those odds. I can't really go. Right now, odds I can complain about much. Yeah, I can't talk too badly about those odds. I think they're pretty on the money. Pedro should win this, man. Pedro should win this pretty easily. Modestus sucks, and I think Pedro's gonna fucking show that. So, I'm going Tyson Pedro by knockout in the first. I was gonna go for second, but he's never won a fight in the UFC. If he wins the fight, it's in the first round, so I'm gonna stick with the tradition. Tyson Prado by knockout in the first. I think Madeus fucking sucks, and I think this is gonna show that. Welcome back. You're gonna lose again. Tyson Prado by knockout in the first. Those were the prelims. We're about what? Again, about half an hour, 40 minutes in. Not bad. 5 more fights, and they don't get much better. But to open main card, I guess it's a little bit of an upgrade from what we were talking about. As we have another returning fighter, not because he got cut, because he tore his ACL a year ago. We have Jimmy Crute, the mullet, back versus Alonzo Atomic Menafield. Welcome back, Jimmy. He tore his ACL after his last fight. He was off all of 2022, and now he's back. Let's talk about Jimmy Crute, man. He was a really good prospect at one point, and then he lost 2 straight. He is 4-3 in the UFC. He has 4 wins. Paul Craig is the best one. Sam Alvey, Olejniczak, and Bukowskis. His losses, Serkinov, that's such a bad loss. Anthony Smith and that domination. And Jamal Hill ran through him. Excuse me. He's an okay fighter. He's above average light heavyweight. Like, he's not great, but he's not terrible. He's just there, really. Like, do I think he's really this great prospect? Not really. Like, I know going into the Smith fight he was looked on as that, and even I won't lie, I hyped him up in that fight to run through Anthony, and he didn't. He has many holes in his game. His striking ain't much to write on about. His wrestling's okay. Like, overall, he's just not that amazing of a fighter. And like he's just okay. Maybe over the year off he fixed the holes in his game, but I would not fucking bet on that fucking scenario. I think he's just okay. Like, I don't mind Crute. Nice to have him back. He's only 26 years old, so he can get better, but A, this is a must win, and B, he's gonna be rusty. Probably, so yeah, it's weird talking about Crute, because he's not, you don't want to talk bad about him because he's not bad, but like, what do you really say about him? Well, I don't know. He's an okay fighter. To talk about his opponent, Alonzo Menafield, dude who's far from rusty, as he in 2022 had 3 fights, and he ended 2022 with 2 knockouts. In the UFC, he is 6-3. His wins are really no one impressive. Paul Craig, what has every heavyweight fight tonight beat Paul Craig? Besides that, no one impressive. Serkinov, that fake bitch, Oscar Morozov. His 3 losses: Devin Clark, OSP, and William Knight. Can't really get mad at William Knight's a bad loss. The other 2, whatever. Menafield ain't great. He's a lot like he's very powerful. I don't know what, he just reminds me. I just look at him in the same light of like a Ryan Spann. Very powerful, but outside of that 3, ain't really too impressive. Like, all his wins are shitty fighters, and I just don't think he's that good. Like, he falls under the Derek Lewis treatment. Yeah, they'll win. If they win, it's because of fucking power. They ain't that good. I don't think much of fucking a Menafield. I think he's just an alright light heavyweight, a dude who will, he's above average light heavyweight like Crute, but a little below Crute. Below average, I guess, is what you would say. So, he's a weird fighter. He's okay. Do you ever see him get a ranking? Maybe. I didn't even know he's 35. Like, I just think he's there. He's okay. This card's full of just fucking mid fighters. I've noticed. Yeah, Manfield's just an okay fighter. The odds for this fight have Jimmy Crute minus 225 to plus 190. I disagree. I would have Crute the favorite, but not by a lot. Like, I mean a minus 125, 120 slight favorite. Like, there's not much that I could see. Like, the biggest concern is how does he look after a torn ACL and a year off. His last fight was a brutal KO, and Manafield was on a hot streak of first round finishes. I feel like he could come back and look better than ever. New fire under him, blah blah blah. But man, he is. I'm worried. Like, I'm worried about either way I pick this fight. If I'm on Team Manafield, I'm worried because every time he fights someone, even he lost to Wayne Knight, who sucks dick. So every time, the two times he fought someone decent, and Devin Clark and OSP, he got wrecked. And every time he fight, and then for Jimmy Crute, same how you kind of go with the same metaphor. Every time he fights someone decent, he gets fucking beat. Even though he lost to me, just so never mind. These two make no fucking sense. Who am I going for in this fight? I think I'm Team Crute. I think then come back, knock the rust off, so of not getting his head knocked off, and I think he's gonna return and get the W. So I'm going Jimmy Crute. Far from confident, but I am going Jimmy Crute by decision here. I think he'll survive the power, because not really only worry he has. So Jimmy Crute by decision. After that, a fight that almost guarantees a finish, we have Justin Badman Tafa versus Parker Porter. We got two low-level heavyweights gonna go in the cage, and Perth, Australia wanna throw some leather till one motherfucker drops. Let's talk about Justin, not Mark Hunt Tafa. Tafa is 2-3 in the UFC. By the way, side note, his brother was actually booked on this card twice, but his brother got injured and ain't fighting, sadly. Would've been nice to see. Shit happens. Back to Justin. Justin is 2-3 in the UFC. His 2 wins, Juan Adams and Harry Hunsucker. His 3 losses, Jorgen De Castro in his debut in Australia that Price still haunts him, Carlos Felipe and Jared Vandera. Tafa, it would have been a great heavyweight 15 years ago when heavyweights were just I swing. Like, he falls into a category with a lot of, he's definitely he's an out of touch heavyweight. He's a heavyweight where it's just throw till one drops, and as we see with Tom Aspinall, Sergey Spivak, and Cyril Gahn, those heavyweights are flying out of style because they're just not that talented. Like, if you don't get hit by them, you will beat them. I don't know. That probably was loud as fuck. Sorry. It's weird talking about these heavyweights now after watching Gahn, Aspinall, and Spivak, but yeah, they're still roaming around. Overall, Tafa's just okay. He looked great in his last fight with Harry Hunsucker, so let's see what he does in this one. He's gonna swing, cause all he knows how to do is fucking swing. Talk about his opponent, Parker Porter. How the fuck is this guy still in the UFC? In the UFC, he is 3-2. How the fuck does he have a positive winning record? His 3 wins, Josh Prithian, Chase Sherman, Alan Bedell. This motherfucker was on a 3-fight winning streak. I forgot about that. His 2 losses, Chris Dawkins. In a rematch, Porter might actually win that. And Jailton Almeida. That was sacrificial lamb if I've ever fucking seen it. I could say the same thing about him as I said for Tafa. He's not that good. and he's just gonna go in there and swing till he drops or Justin drops. So there's no point of breaking down this fight more than who's getting knocked out first. And yeah, that's a low heavyweight fight, man. The betting odds for this fight have Justin Toffler -140 to +120. I disagree. I have it 115, 110 apiece, because it's who lands first. And also, we already seen how Toffler already been knocked out cold at home. Does it happen again? History could repeat itself. Do I think it does? No, but I am going Justin Toffler in this one to get his revenge for his first fight here at home, and I think he gets the knockout. So I'm going Justin Toffler by knockout in the first. Yeah, I think he revenges his last performance here and knocks out Parker Porter. Justin Toffler by knockout in the first. After that, now these fights actually getting high level or A to A level, and we have a good fight at welterweight. As we have the co-main to the co-main, by the way, we have Randy Rude Boy Brown versus Jack, the most fucked up nose in MMA, Della Maddalena. Let's talk about Rude Boy. Randy Brown is an okay fighter. He's 10-4. Holy shit, he's up that many fights. 10-4 in UFC. He's been around since 2016. On a nice 4-fight winning streak now. He has 4 wins right now. Alex Oliveira, Jared Gooden, Cass Williams, and Trinaldo. Are they great? Alex Oliveira is not a good win. Jared Gooden, not a good win. Cass Williams, okay. I saw he lost that one. And Trinaldo, he looked very bad against him. You could make the case for Trinaldo winning. His losses, you can't really get mad at any of them. Well, maybe his first one, but his last loss was Vicente Luque, even though, God, Luque has fell a lot since that fight. In the eyes of me, at least, and a lot of other people. Randy is very... His main weapon is his length, how lengthy he is. He is very lengthy for 170 at a 78-inch reach and a 6'3" height. He's kind of balanced fighter. Striking's okay. He can wrestle. He can wrap you up very easily. He's okay. He's 32 years old. Does he have a chance of becoming anything in the division anymore? Probably not. Even though if he wins this one, maybe. But overall, he's an okay fighter. He can win when he can win. He can lose. Brown has always struck me as a weird fighter because he's like right now he looks great, but he, like I said, Luque. He lost to Bilal, Nico Price, where he looked bad. So, I don't know. And, like, he looked very bad against old-ass Francisco Trinaldo in his last one, so... Let that tell you. So, yeah. Let's talk about his opponent, JDM. A great prospect for 170 right now. And this is a fight he can prove if he's legit or not. In the UFC, he is 3-0 since coming off Contender Series, and is in 2022 he knocked out Pete Rodriguez, Ramazan Ameev, and Danny Roberts all in round 1. Rodriguez and Roberts were not fights at all. Ramazan was the most competitive fight he had, only because he got caught in a submission. But it wasn't. He didn't get subbed, obviously, and he came back and got a beautiful lever shot punch finish. JDM's an amazing, striker. He will piece you apart, man. He does not care. He pieces you up very well. He knows when to throw a shot, and so far in the UFC, he's looking like he could be a problem for 170. We've not seen his wrestling tested besides the Ameev fight, and that was only a fucking guillotine that he got out of, so I think Brown could test his wrestling in this one, but even then, if his wrestling's up is decent, especially for 170. It needs to be good. He's gonna be a problem for that division because he's fucking good, and he is part of that nice 170 that nice 170 gang of prospects. Him, Michael Morales, him, Morales, and Renat, 3 great prospects for 170. So, is he the best one out of the 3? So far, I'd say yes, but let's see if he proves that Saturday night. The betting odds for the fight have Jack Della minus 310 to plus 250. Yeah, I'd probably say so. 300, 310, whatever. Della should win. Could Brown give him a challenge? Yeah, but they're giving him a step up in competition every fight. P. Rodriguez is the lowest level competition. Amiz is a little step up. Danny's a little step up. Randy's a step up. A bigger step up. And then if he wins this one, he'll probably be fighting, I'm not sure, Daniel Rodriguez maybe. Throw a name out there, which will be another step up. So, at home, he called for a fight here. He got it. Did Jack Della deliver on a win here for at home? I think, yeah. I think Jack Della's gonna get the win here. I think Randy could give him his toughest fight so far, but that would not be too hard since no one's really giving him a fight. And overall, I do think Jack Della is gonna keep his UFC undefeated streak and get his 4th finish. So I'm going Jack Della Maddalena by knockout in the first. I think he does what he does best. Catches Randy Brown for maybe a body shot or a headshot and gets the win. So I'm going Jack Della by knockout in the first. After that, the co-main event of the evening for the interim UFC Featherweight Championship of the World, we have Yair El Pantera Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is gonna be 5 a night, can guarantee you that, and someone's gonna be banging their ticket to lose to Volk next. I really not gonna break down, you know me, I don't break down the higher level guys. If you don't know them, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, if you don't know Yair Rodriguez or Josh Emmett, man, well, wake up. Talk about Yair a little bit. We all know Yair. He's fucking insane. He does not care. He'll throw whatever the fuck he wants, and hell, sometimes it fucking works. One of the most creative strikers in MMA, and he's good. His wrestling's always been a problem, but it seems like he is patching that up some, and if he's not only doing that in camp, I don't know what the fuck he's been doing in camp. Yeah, he made Max Holloway turn into a wrestler. He's good, man. We've always known Yair's really good, and now he just keeps showing that. So, I don't really know what you want me to say about Yair that you don't already know. We all know Yair is great. Now, does he finally bank his shot? Does he finally bank his ticket to a title fight? There we go. Title shot. Talk about Emmett because he's probably the lesser known of the two. This is the last chance at gold. He is 37 years old. He's very injury prone. This is probably the most healthy he's ever fucking been in his career. On a nice, 5, 6 fight winning streak right now. 5 wins in a row. He's rattled off a nice 5 fight win streak. Michael Johnson, Dick Burgos, Ige, and Qatar. Even a lot of people say he lost the Qatar fight. Close fight. He's finally fucking. He's powerful as shit. He's really tough. He's good. Is he right on the level of the top guys at 45? Not really. Well, I'd really say he's on the level of Yair, Ortega, Allen. Even lower guys like Ilya or Giga, probably not. He's good, but come on, I think he's kind of got I don't want to say an easy road, but let's be honest, those 5 fights, Michael Johnson, actually, he was losing that fight until he got the knockout. Marcin Bektic, enough said. Shane Burgos, okay, you earned that one, my man. He did earn that win, I won't lie. With 2 torn and torn ACL or whatever in round 1, he earned that. Danny Gay sucks, we all know that. And Cater, he barely beat, even if he did beat, so he's fine, but I really don't think he's that great. So, yeah. The betting odds for the fight have Yair minus 165 to plus 140. I would have Yair around minus 190, maybe even, say, 200. I think it's just better. If you look at the 2 ways Emmett wins, he either knocks Yair out cold, which, come on, let's be realistic, is that really gonna happen? No. Or he wrestles him. Again, if Yair's smart, which Yair seems like he's good, not the dumbest dude in the world, he's gonna be fixing up his wrestling, so yeah, I really am finding it hard to, I don't know how people are picking Emmett. I find it difficult to make a case for Emmett winning, and that's why I'm not gonna. And that's why my pick in this one is El Pantera to get the title shot. And yeah, going Yair Rodriguez by decision here. I think he locks in a title shot opportunity. Yair by decision. And now the time for the main the main event of the evening, the biggest fight of the year. Pound for pound 1 versus pound for pound 2, ranking versus belt. Who's the best fighter in the world between Islam Makhachev and Alexander the Great Volkanovski? I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, man. We know both of them. Islam Khabib 2.0, probably better than Khabib, to be honest. We got Islam with that wrestle. We know Islam can wrestle, got some submissions. His striking against Charles looked amazing. He's a problem, man. He's a problem. Volk, we all know Volk. Fucking 3 wins against Max Holloway. Is coming off a 50-45 to Max Holloway. You're great if you do that, pun intended, with his nickname. The 2 best fighters in the world right now. But now Volk's moving up to 55 to try and get double champ status. Islam wants that pound for pound number 1 spot. Who's the winner take all? This fight, I think, could go many ways. I don't think this is as clear cut as people want to say, and I'll talk about that in a second. This fight can go many ways. Islam can maybe clip Volk if his striking really is that good. He could wrestle Volk, might even be able to submit Volk. For Volk, he could be the better striker than Islam. He can stuff Islam's takedown and make him. I think if Volk wins, he made Islam frustrated, because Islam's really ever since that loss, has he ever really had a problem in a fight? Like, just if you look at his last 5, Dober didn't give him a challenge, Moises didn't give him a challenge, Hooker gave him no challenge, Green gave him a challenge, and Charles even gave him no challenge. So it's like, if Volk needs to, I don't know what these two is. It's such a good fight, and it's weird. It's such a good fight, and I can't wait. The betting odds are Islam minus 380 to plus 300. I could not disagree more. Ever since this fight was booked, it's been Islam wins. Why? You're really telling me a 4-inch height advantage means you no problem beat Volkanovski? Are you fucking insane? Dude, fuck, man. I just want to check them real quick. But yeah, I disagree with those betting odds so badly. Dude, you're no fighter on planet, no fighter that can realistically fight Volk should be minus 300 against him. Like, and by the way, Max Holloway is fucking taller than Islam. So, what about time? Yeah, if I had to do this betting odds, I'm literally putting at 115 apiece. They should be near even. I don't think you could have either as a favorite. Two best fighters in the world. Let's use number one, man. Simple as that. And who am I going with in this fight? Am I going with Islam to wrestle or show maybe he is better than Khabib? Or am I going for Volk to show to probably stop takedowns and strike? Who am I going with? Who do I think's gonna end the night with being the best fighter in the world? I'm saying get Volk a second belt. I'm going Volkanovski, man. This is his time to shine. If he... I'll say this right now, if Islam beats Volk, no one's beating Islam. But if Volk beats Islam, like, even if Volk loses Islam at 45, no, who's beating Volk? So, and honestly, at 155, even if Islam did lose, who's beating Islam? So, I'm going Volk, man. Volk, I think it's crazy people are counting out Volk so badly. It's fucking weird. I've never, this has to be one of the few times a great fighter's been counted out so badly. And I think it's silly, man. I'm going Volk. I think Volk's gonna get the dub here. So I am going Alexander Volkanovski by decision to get the upset, which is bullshit, against Islam. To round this finally up, and to go over my picks one more time, Libera Turgov by decision, Blake Blinder by decision, Luma Luke Boomy by decision, Jack Jenkins lock of the night by knockout in the first, Jamie Malarkey by decision, Shannon Ross by knockout in the second, Molesky Bagdasarian by decision, Tyson Pedro by knockout in the first, Jimmy Crute by decision, Justin Tafa by knockout in the first, Jack Della Maddalena by knockout in the first, Yair Rodriguez by decision, and Alexander the Great Volkanovski by decision. There we go. Long fucking record, and did not think it'd be this long, but what are you gonna do about it? Yeah, it's 284, man. We get to see who the best fighter in the world is. You'll hear from me again next week to not talk about the best fighter in the world, talk about Santos and Blanchfield. Great main event for UFC Vegas 69, nice. But man, besides that, my god, that card's bad. That might be my quick kick, outside of one recording where I had to rush, that might be my quickest recording ever next week, because that card's, wow. Wow. But that's next week. We got 284 there. We got Australia this week in 69, and next week, wait, what? So, joke aside and all that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me your picks down below. Like I said, same bat time next week, 1 PM EST, premiere, but well, of course you watch what the fuck ever you want. And as always, RX out. The Great